Hello, dog lovers. My name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners. Welcome. If this is your first time, welcome to my channel. And that's the better angle. Yes. Welcome to my channel. And in this channel, we focus on training dogs without the use of treats, force, domination, aversive tools. We use play and praise to reward the dog and train dogs. If you're first time here, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon as well so you will get notified as soon as I post my next video. So this is my first live this year, and I've decided to go now live and also answer some of your questions and also talk about what is the thing that you need to do, the last thing that you need to do before you give up on your dog. You have done everything and you're just done with it. Your dog, you're just about give up your dog. What is that thing that you need to do? I'm going to explain what is the last thing that you need to do before you give up on your dog. I want you to not give up on your dog. And dogs are animals that are easy to train. They will be easy to deal with, but I want you to understand that there are times that you have this thought in your mind, I'm going to give up, I've done everything, I'm done with it, I don't want to deal with it anymore, I'm going to give up on this dog. I don't want you to give up on your dog. I'm going to share some ideas and information in this video with you live that will help you to have one more option at least. I'm going to give you one more option, and if that works for you, that's great. It's something that's very easy, but I will explain all that. And also, I had some questions offline and online as well. I'm going to answer those as well. And if you have any questions, leave those questions in the chat and I'll see them and I'll answer them live as well. So I'm going to answer one of the questions. I have some questions coming. Advanced 3 is asking what is your that is like asking as a dog trainer myself. It's like asking a parent what is your favorite, who's your favorite kid. It's kind of hard to answer it. I would say my favorite dogs personally are beagles and golden retrievers. No, somebody. Good boy, that's Tucker. Tucker was barking. So my favorite dogs are beagle and golden retrievers, and also I like border collies as well. So those are my favorite dogs. Some dogs here. What can I do to stop my dog from eating things in the yard? I do it in the house. Outside we have an issue. I have a big old body. Okay. So that's a good question. So I'll explain what to do. So one of the things that we want to do is teach your beagle. This is Finley. Again, speaking of favorite dogs, here's Finley. Okay. So they're really excited and having a good time back there. Finley is very good. All right, so let me answer the question, how do you stop a dog from eating stuff outside of the house, in the yard or on the streets? So one of the things that I want you to do is, first of all, teach your dog the word or the cue word of no. What that means is you're teaching your dog that when I say this word, you're going to stop. So in order to teach that, you have to work with your dog. And in order for the dog to respond to your cue, you have to work with the dog beforehand and then see the results outside. So First thing that you want to do, give a verbal cue to your dog to understand that stop that behavior, don't do that, and all that. With just simply, teaching your dog a cue word. It could be no, it could be stop it, it could be whatever you want to use as a cue word. You want to teach that. So the way you teach that, I have a video on my channel that I teach how you can actually teach your dog to respond to a cue word no, using a toy, and then transfer that toy to food, and you can transfer that to everything else. So the first thing is you teach a dog a cue word. Basically what it is, you teach the dog that if I have this and I give it to you, yes. If I don't give it to you, no. So if the dog learns that, and then you practice it for a while, and then you practice it with a toy, you practice it with certain behaviors, certain things, and then you see if your dog will learn to respond to that cue, and then you transfer that cue to other stuff, including when it comes to picking up stuff that they're not supposed to outside. So what you want to do is, when you're outside, make sure obviously your dog is on leash, and if you see that your dog is going for something, just say Rover and the cue word, for example, no, and hopefully your puppy is going to stop and is going to say, oh, I'm familiar with that cue. You're going to stop and pause, and that's the moment. As soon as your puppy pauses, you say good boy or good girl, and hopefully your puppy is going to stop. So I have a question here. I have a 3-month-old Doberman female. She do not eat on her own. I feed her forcefully, I think. Hold on, I'm having a hard time. Help me to teach her eating by herself, please. Okay, so one of the things is, I have a beagle, but how to keep him to stay by me? Okay, so there's another question about a beagle to stay. So I'll answer the other question. So if you're forcing your dog to eat, that's not a good sign. One thing you have to understand is most dogs, animals in general, they don't eat too often. They eat once in a while. They feel like eating. When they feel like eating, they will eat. If they don't feel like eating, they don't eat. Unlike humans, that humans want to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack in between, dogs, they don't want to eat all the time. Dogs eat once in a while, whenever they feel hungry. So if they don't eat, that's a sign that they don't feel like eating, and there's nothing wrong with it. Dogs can not eat food for at least 3 days. It's safe, it's fine. We call that fasting. Dogs fast all the time. So it's okay to let your dog fast. Don't force your dog to eat. What I suggest you to do is put the food down and give it about 2, 3, 5 minutes. If your dog doesn't eat it, take it away, offer it in the evening, and if it doesn't eat, take it away, offer it the next day, and once they eat, once they're hungry and they feel like eating, they will eat it, and once they eat it, that's fine. So think about that. Don't try to force your dog to eat something that they don't want, first of all. Second of all, if they don't feel like eating, which is normal thing for most dogs not to eat. Daddy. That's a German Shepherd too. So if it's happening for that's the other thing that I was going to say. If it's happening for a long time, then there's something internal, some health issues that you want to check with your vet. There must be something happening that it's not allowing your dog to eat. Maybe it's not, something has gone wrong. Maybe it's nothing major, but yes, I would definitely suggest you to check with your vet and see if there's anything wrong internally, health-wise, or anything like that. But the other thing is, One more thing that could be, if it doesn't eat every day, will it affect the growth? Yes, of course. They need to eat, but they don't. Dogs generally they don't feel like eating all the time. What kind of dog is it? What kind of breed of dog is it? Depends on the breed too. But the other thing is, if you're offering your dog, here's the kicker. If you're offering your dog, sorry about the background noise. There's a truck backing up. If you're offering your dog kibble or dry food, usually they don't like that. They don't like kibble or dry food. I would highly suggest changing the diet, changing the food. You offer raw diet, clean, fresh food, or even meat, cooked meat or raw diet. See if your dog is going to eat. If your dog eats it, that's a good sign. You see that? That's a cute thing that Finley does, right? Finley gets on this slide and just hangs around them. It's very interesting. So offer your dog meat, fresh meat, either raw or cooked. See if your dog is going to eat. If it eats, then you know it's the food. Then you have to change the food. If it's not eating, then definitely check with your vet. Take your dog to the vet. The best test is that to offer good food. She only eats chicken by her own, not anything else. So there you go. So it's giving you a sign and a signal that it likes chicken, but nothing else. So maybe try to give it chicken and try beef too, cook or raw. Try that and see if it's going to work. Hopefully that answered your question. Let me see if I answered. Okay, so Advanced 3 Gaming 1 is saying, I have a beagle, but how do I keep him to stay by me? That's a good question. So in that case, you want to teach your dog heel command. Hold on. Okay. And yeah, you don't want to give, sorry, I'm just jumping around here. Erica is in the house too. Hi Erica, thank you for being here. Yeah, I'm jumping around the questions. Yes, you don't want to give cooked bones, definitely any cooked bones to your dog. Raw bones are fine. And you can give, raw bones anytime, and consider that as a food as well. So give meat. If your dog is, I'm guessing your dog is just being picky about the food that you're offering. Maybe just offer chicken and beef, cooked or raw, but definitely no cooked bones, and see how it goes. Yeah. So it will. If the vet hasn't found anything, is the food then. So it's the food. If you change the food, you'll see big difference. So how do you get your dog to walk by you? That is a good question. So you basically hold on. I'll come back to that. So you want to teach your dog to heel. Heel command is something that you teach it. It takes a while for the dog to learn. You start with teaching the dog to walk nicely without pulling on the leash, and then as the dog learns that, then you teach the dog to walk by you nicely within 2 or 3 feet of your heel, and then you close that gap. So it takes time to teach the dog to walk properly on a leash, on a heel. But if you want your dog to walk by your side, I have a whole bunch of videos on my channel. You can watch it on, basic obedience training. In there, I have a heel command that you can learn how to teach your dog to heel. That's the best choice, best way to learn how to teach your dog to walk nicely by you. One thing you want to understand is that you can ask your dog to walk by you, by your side, here, the whole walk. It's just a boring walk if you do that. You want to let your dog to walk around and sniff around and do whatever it wants to do. And once in a while you ask your dog to walk by you for maybe a minute, then you release it to do whatever it wants, and then back to heel again. So heel is only for certain times during the walk. It's not throughout the walk. When you ask your dog to heel all the way throughout the walk, it becomes boring for the dog. Dogs don't really enjoy that. And then what happens is it helps them to develop stress, and they become stressful, and they don't really enjoy the walk anymore. So you want to give your dog the option of sniffing and doing whatever it wants, as long as they're behaving properly and are not pulling on the leash, and then invite them to heel with you, frequently, but here and there, not the whole walk itself. So let's say if you're going for a half an hour walk, you don't want your dog to walk beside you the whole time for 30 minutes. It's just not realistic, and it's boring for the dog. Let me see if I answered. Projit is saying thank you. Cindy Phillips is saying, I've read that raw pork is splintery and should be avoided. It's like pork chops. In general, giving your dog bones, it doesn't matter what bones you're giving, especially chicken actually. Chicken is very soft when you especially cook it, so you don't want to give bones at all. In general, avoid any kind of meat bones. You don't want to give bones to your dog when it's cooked. Raw, they're perfect. They're ideal when you give raw bones. Any bones is fine. But if you cook it, it becomes dangerous for the dogs to work on it. So to eat it too. So don't give cooked bones at all. Raw bones, any bones is safe. So yes, so I think I caught up with the questions, and I wanted to talk to you about what do you do when you have done everything? In your mind, you have done everything, and we'll do this one. In your mind, you have done everything, and you're giving up on your dog because your dog is just driving you crazy. So what do? You have done everything. You have worked with all kinds of dog trainers. You have tried all kinds of training methods. You have used all the tools. You've used all the techniques that you know from here and there, and nothing is working out. You're just going crazy, and you want to give up on your dog, and you want to send it to shelter, right? One thing I want to tell you is don't rush. Don't give up on your dog. The shelter won't help your dog either. It will get worse for that dog. So you don't want to give up on your dog. You don't want to take it to the shelter. That should be realistically the last thing. And I'm going to share with you some tips here that it should be something that it's doable, it's possible to do before you make that decision to send your dog to shelter because you've done everything and you've given up on your dog. So first of all, don't give up. Take a step back, relax, take a breather, and say, you know what, let's see what Saro has to say, and let's do what Saro is telling us, what your dog is doing. If you're having a hard time walking your dog because it's pulling you on the leash, because it's reactive to other dogs, because it's driving your other family members crazy, because it's misbehaving, it's not listening to you, it's just you're destroying the whole house, whatever the problem is. One of the first things, now I get this all the time, I get this question all the time, what do I do in this case? one of the first things that we want to do is stop giving too much freedom to your dog. One of the main reasons your dog has got to that point that is driving you crazy is because you're giving too much freedom to your dog. What I mean by that is you can't just expect your dog to change his behavior and become a normal dog just because you say, you know what, do whatever you want to do, leave me alone. First of all, you have to take responsibility and help your dog. Second of all, giving too much freedom to your dog causes your dog to be stressful. I know this is against everything you've heard, but overall, especially dogs who have behavioral issues, one of the main reasons they are having behavioral issues is because the dog owner is giving too much freedom to the dog. They're letting the dog to roam around the house, do whatever it wants to do, go up and down the house, go in the kitchen, in the bedroom, run around, do whatever, bark at sit by the window and bark at everything that is walking by, do whatever they want to do. That causes the dog to get more stressed because you're giving your dog too many choices. You're giving them so many choices to make that it stresses them. That's one thing that I want you to understand when it comes to your dog and dog behavior. Giving too much freedom, giving too much choice, too many choices to your dog will make your dog to be more stressed. Stress equals bad behavior equals driving you crazy equals the dog ends up in the shelter. So don't give too much freedom to your dog. I understand you wanna give to your dog, but dogs are different than humans. Humans, you can tell them that don't do this, don't do that. They will argue with you. Amuth MB is in the house. Says hi Saro. Hi Amuth. Nice to see you here. Thank you for being here. So definitely don't feel bad not giving too much freedom to your dog. One thing that I want you to do is put the leash on your dog and have it under control throughout the day with you, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, for at least 7 days. Attach the leash. I don't have a leash here. I don't want to give the screen. What you want to do, attach the leash to your waist and attach it to your dog and so let's pretend I have a leash attached to Tucker, right? I'm just going to go here, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to just stand here, I'm going to say, Tucker, sit. There. I'm attached, the dog is attached to me, and we're doing exactly what I'm doing. She's me standing here, and we're doing exactly what I'm doing. I'm not giving him freedom, I'm not giving him any choices, but one choice. I'm giving him one choice, which is stay here, rather than running around, playing, rather than misbehaving, rather than doing this and that. I'm just giving him one choice, which is stay here and do what I'm asking you to do, which is just calm down and stay here. You do this for 7 days with your dog. Your dog, after 7 days, is going to be right here all the time, right by you. So not only you're avoiding your dog to make mistakes, not to misbehave, you're teaching your dog that you're in control, you're in charge of everything, and your dog is going to relax and he's going to depend on you even more. Once you reduce the choice making of your dog, they relax. Because let's say here, if I give freedom to these dogs, or even Tucker, he's going to say, I can go on that slide, I can chew on that wall over there, I can dig a hole over here, I can run around, I can sleep, I can bark, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. So many choices. He has so many choices to make. But when I say to him, Tucker, can you sit, stay, and I tell him to do this only, which is sit and stay, no, stay, which is this, just to sit. So he has only one choice, one decision to make, which is just stay with me and do what I'll ask him. That relaxes him, and that gets him to stop making mistakes and stop doing things that are not ideal. So once you understand this, and once you put it into action with your dog, you will see after a week, your dog is going to be more manageable. For a week, you want to sacrifice and put your dog on leash, put it under control, and you will see that after a week, your dog is going to be much more easier to handle. And then you're not going to be giving up on that dog. It's important for you to do everything that you can in your power to do. If you're giving up on your dog because of this and that, and it's the last thing that you're saying, you know, this is it, I'm giving up. Put your dog on a leash. You don't have to take your dog. If you're going to take your dog for a walk, that's fine, but keep it on the leash. If you don't feel like taking your dog for a walk because your dog is reactive and is driving you crazy, that's fine. Just put it on the leash, take it around the corner, just around the block, bring it back home, keep it on the leash, attached to you, do whatever you're doing. You're doing your cooking, your dog is attached to you, and you're cooking. You're doing your kitchen, you're cooking. You're in the office, you're doing your thing, your dog is there, you're doing things. You're doing whatever you're doing. You're in bed, your dog is attached to you or attached to the leash or in a crate or whatever, it's under control. For a week you do that, your dog is going to say, this human is controlling me. I love that. Thank you. That's what I wanted. And you'll see that the stress level is going to go from there to here, and your dog is going to start changing towards good. So that would be your last choice that you want to make. Okay, don't work on anything else but giving your dog less choices to make. AVM, I'm sorry if I'm reading it right. Sir, my dog, that child, breed overweight. My doctor recommends metabolic diet food feed, please you tell. All right, AVM, I think it's AVM or AVM. I think metabolic food that you're saying is basically either raw food or keto diet, things like that. What I would suggest is feed your dog raw diet, 75% meat and 25% vegetables, green vegetables. Any green, leafy green vegetables that you can get, chop it up, mix it with some meat, whatever meat you want to choose, beef, chicken, pork, whatever meat, you can grind it up, make it 75% and 25% vegetables. So let's say your dog is 20 pounds, your dog is going to be fed 200 grams of meat, food per day, 200 grams of food. If it's your dog 20 pounds, 200 grams. If your dog is 30 pounds, 300 grams. If your dog is 40 pounds, 400 grams of food. 400 grams of food, which contains 75% meat, 25% green leafy vegetables. You add crack an egg, raw egg in it, some supplements if you cannot afford getting some supplements, add some supplements, omega oil, vitamins and minerals, things like that. Add those, you're good. Your dog is going to love it, it's going to benefit from it, it's going to live longer, it's going to live healthier, it's going to live better, and you know, in general, it's going to be the best diet that you can eat. Now, I hope that answered your question, AVM. Ruth is asking, what is the best remedy for fleas and natural one is, if possible? Yes. So I'm gonna make a video about this. It's called diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth. DE. I'm gonna do a video about it and I'm gonna explain all about it. It's coming up soon. In the next week or so, I think it's coming. It's called diatomaceous earth. It's the best ingredient that you can add to your dog's food. You can either add it to your food. There are two types. There are food grade and there is not food grade. The food grade goes in your dog's food, and not food grade you apply it on your dog. The food grade, the good thing about it is that it cleanses inside too. So I'm gonna do a video about it, so don't worry about it. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel, so you're not gonna miss the video that I'm gonna be posting about this topic. But the product that I'm suggesting to use is called diatomaceous earth. I'm gonna try to put the link in the description after the live session is over. Erica is saying great info today. Thank you. Great topic. Like the 7-day dog by your side with the leash on an idea. Sounds like great success will come from that. Definitely, yes. And also she's asking, how do you get your dog to stop being reactive to other dogs while in the car? A great question. Yes. So first of all, first part of your question, which was for 7 days, if you keep your dog on leash, yes, it works magic. It just transforms and transforms the dog to a new perspective of life. Before was I could do whatever I want, and now is, I don't have to worry about whatever I need to do. I'm just going to do whatever this human tells me to do. So it makes a big difference. And how do you stop a dog from reacting in the car? So there are two situations. You're with your dog in the car and your dog is misbehaving, or your dog is on its own and is misbehaving, right? I'll share with you both options. So if you are with your dog in the car, what you want to do is, again, create a cue word that your dog understands. Okay, when I'm doing that, my dog owner, my human says that word and I stop. But you have to create that word with your dog. You can't just expect, most of the time when the dog is misbehaving, they say, Rover, no, stop it, Rover, stop it, Rover. And the dog gets even worse because you're reacting the same way the dog is reacting. So the dog is saying, that happened, and we both, you and me, are doing the same thing. So yes, I'm doing the right thing. But if you learn and teach how to teach your dog that when you're doing that thing and I say this word, let's say no or stop it or wow or whatever word you want to use, you have to teach that beforehand. So that means for a month you have to be practicing that behavior, that cue. Sorry about the background sound. You have to be practicing that cue for a month, so the dog learns that, when I hear that word, I have to stop that behavior. And then you use that word in the car and you say, Rover, no, or stop it, or and the dog is going to stop barking or reacting. If you want to learn how do you teach that cue word to your dog, I'm going to actually link that video after I'm done with the live in the description below, so come back to the video in an hour or so. I'll leave the link in the description because it's a very common question and everybody's asking. So I really want you to watch this video and learn how do you teach your dog a cue word. So it's a good idea to teach the cue word and then expect your dog to respond to it. Now, if you're not in the car and your dog is misbehaving, that is something that the dog is dealing with on its own. What I mean by that is when dogs are feeling, something is going on and ignoring me, then they feel bad and they react. Hey, no. So there we go. So the dogs are barking. I'm not going to say the name because there's just too many dogs here, and I'm going to say no, and they stop. Right? So the cue word to stop that behavior is no. Right? So I've taught them that no. They are familiar. These are not my dogs. These are my daycare dogs. They all know the word, know what it means, and as soon as they misbehave, I say no, and boom, they stop. Right? So that's how easy it is. So that's how you stop a dog from misbehaving in the car. You just say no, and they stop. I hope that that was a good example. MT says, MT is in the house. My dog has tennis ball obsession. He keeps nodding me with his head and being restless and able to make me go out and throw the ball. I'm worn out. Yes, so it's an obsession, and AVM is saying thank you, sir. Thank you for your question, AVM. Avem or AVM, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your name. So when it comes to obsession, especially dogs being obsessed with the ball, so let me give you an example. So let's say you see the little one is humping the big dog, right? Let's say my dog is obsessed with that, right? So how do I stop that behavior? Here we go. Coco, no. There. Coco, no. So that's how you stop, right? The obsession can be stopped that way too. Again, the key word here is to teach the dog a cue word that the dog knows. So Coco, no. So I'm stopping Coco now. Watch this. Coco, no, come. Coco, sit. No. Stay. So first of all, I told her to stop that behavior. Second of all, I told her what to do instead. So instead of humping that dog, sit and stay. Okay? So you can replace the obsession of your dog being with the ball with something else. So your dog wants the ball. You say, no, you're not gonna get that. Instead, do this. So you have to replace that obsession with something else. I would suggest to do some training with your dog, so your dog learns that I can do this instead of being obsessed with the ball. Second of all, I want you to also do some, when a dog is obsessed with something, that means your dog is physically and mentally not stimulated enough throughout the day. So you want to provide some mental and physical stimulation for your dog that is ideal. I have done a video about that too, which I'm going to link it in the description after we're done with the live. And you can go ahead and watch it. What kind of stimulation, what kind of activities can you provide for your dog to be satisfying your dog physically and mentally. So you have to physically and mentally stimulate your dog so your dog doesn't have that obsession with the ball. So the ball becomes, and I bet your dog is one of those herding working breeds. Those kind of dogs, they are really into doing something. So even if you ask your dog to do something like sit and stay, that is a work. For them, staying becomes a work, so they will stay or wait. So instead of working on the ball. So hopefully that will help you. Bibrajit is asking, is it okay to feed Doberman milk and corn wheat? No, it's not okay to feed dogs dairy in general. You don't want to feed dairy. Dairies are not species appropriate food for dogs. Dairies in general are not normal for dogs, first of all, to eat, and second of all, yes, it was a great example, yes. And second of all, Dairies are only for young ones. When they are born, they drink it for a certain time and then they stop drinking it, right? Milk, they drink mom's milk for a certain period of time and then they stop. So after that, they don't need to drink the milk. They go to eating other stuff, right? Eating either if the animal is vegetarian, it's vegetarian meal. If the dog is carnivore, it's meats and things like that. So you don't want to give dairies as a regular food and a diet for your dog. It's just not natural, it's not normal. You want to give the right food to your dog, which is you want to consider species appropriate diet to your dog, which is meat and a little bit of vegetable. You know what I mean? Is soybean good for them? Actually, soybean is not good for humans either. Not because soybeans are vegetarian, not only because of that, because of GMO. You know what? GMOs are soybeans have been one of the major product that is just full of GMO, and it's not healthy to consume it in general. But you don't have, soybeans also they don't have that nutritional value for the dogs. For a dog, you have to consider meat. Main thing is meat, and second thing is vegetables, green leafy vegetables. That should be your main target when you're thinking about feeding your dog food. Yes, I'm rude. Please wait for the video. I will post it. Post the link in the description below after the live. Erica saying great live example of a no. Yes, that's exactly what it's supposed to mean and work. You want to make sure that your dog, first of all, is familiar with the word or the cue that you're teaching your dog. I like to use no. You can use whatever word you want to use, and teach it to your dog, and then it comes time for them to stop certain behavior and just say that word, and hopefully that word is going to work at that moment. But you have to work on it. You have to teach it. You have to work on it. You have to practice it a few times, many times maybe with your dog. One of the things that I suggest dog owners to do is, people get upset when their dog is misbehaving. I think it's a good opportunity to allow your dog to misbehave, because it gives you an opportunity to train your dog, teach your dog, in this case, the cue word of no or whatever cue word you want to use. You tell your dog, that cue word, and your dog stops that behavior. D. Lamb Marcus Washington 3 is in the house. Hi, thank you for being here. So it's good to allow your dog to misbehave, because it gives you an opportunity to practice the cue word first of all, and it gives you an opportunity to train your dog. So the more your dog misbehaves, the more you're training your dog. Think of it like that. Don't think negative, think positive. Make sure that you're turning everything that negative is happening with your dog in your life, try to turn it into positive. So instead of getting upset and angry about it or negative about it, say, there's an opportunity for me to make it positive and make it a lesson or learning opportunity. I wanted to take this moment and inform you that I also have a podcast going on. I have a podcast channel on Podbean. Also, I'm going to link the link to this podcast in the description below after we've done with the live. So I would love you to come and join me on weekly basis on my podcast channel as well, and follow me there, because I share some information in there that that I usually don't share anywhere else. So yes, I like that that I can give you more options to learn about dogs. So I have my YouTube channel, I have my Facebook, private Facebook group that the link is below that you can go ahead and find out and join me there. I have my blog. I do share weekly or every 2 weeks blogs on my YouTube channel as well. And also I have my podcast too. So there's lots of ways of me connecting with you, and hopefully you're sharing my channel with you as well. Yes, Erica is saying I like the thought gives the opportunities to learn. Very nice. The more opportunity, the more most people or dog owners, they get upset because their dog is misbehaving. But I say, take it as an opportunity to train your dog, and therefore the more your dog misbehaves, the more training you're doing with your dog, the better he's going to get. So I really like that option as well. Big Project is saying, I follow lots of dog training channels, but I admit it from deep of my heart, you're the best. Always wait for you to come live. Great. Oh, thank you. That is very nice of you. I appreciate that. The difference that I want to make in my community is very simple. I want to make you to become an educated dog lover rather than just a dog lover. I want you to become an educated dog lover. Thank you for your. Okay, we're back. Okay, so for some reason the YouTube was misbehaving. I'm wondering how to stop my pup from growling at visitors. That is a question from Valerie Drabic. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. So growling at visitors. So it doesn't matter if your dog is growling or is jumping on people or happy to see them or angry to see them, whatever it is, whatever the reason it is, whatever your dog is doing when the visitors are coming, is you have to control your dog. So the way you do is you teach your dog the commands of sit, stay, or wait. And when your dog is coming, let's say when the guests are coming, your dog is going to sit and stay. So it's going to be something like this. Let me see if I can get one here. Philly, watch this. Philly, sit, stay. So she is Philly on sit and stay. And this way, when the visitor comes, the visitor is not getting involved with the dog. So you see that? So she is getting involved in email, right? This is now, it could be aggression, could be just happiness, could be just excitement, whatever, right? So you have to teach your dog to sit and stay. So, for example, now she's playing. If whatever it is, you have to ask your dog to sit and stay and allow the visitor to either greet your dog or not to greet your dog. It's the choice that you have to make in that moment. If you think that your dog is ready to receive greeting from the visitors. If a dog is growling, that's a sign that your dog is nervous about strangers. And that comes from lack of socialization, proper socialization skills. So your dog is not it hasn't been properly socializing and practicing socialization skills, so therefore he's not able to deal with this situation. So the problem is that your dog is It's not it doesn't know that this is what I have to do in this case. When a visitor comes home, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to greet the human rather than growl at them. So when they are growling, that means your dog is giving you a signal that I am I'm feeling anxious about this visitor. So what you want to do is teach your dog that this is, first of all, it's okay, and the way you're going to do that is you're going to ask your dog to sit and stay, so it has the time to calm down and think about what it's doing. Okay, so you're going to teach your dog to calm down first of all, and then if you feel comfortable, then you can ask that person to greet your dog. And if your dog is still growling, what you can do, you can say, okay, my dog is not ready yet. We're going to practice this with many other strangers, many other visitors, until my dog gets comfortable. And one of the best things that you can do, again, when it comes to controlling your dog, when your dog is a visitor is coming, then you just bring your dog on leash. Again, just pretend that I have a leash attached to this dog. My dog is on leash now, right? So she's not doing what she usually does, which is react to people and dogs. She's doing what I'm asking her to do, which is just be under control. So having your dog under control for about 7 days again, it will transform your dog to be behaving exactly the way you want. So see, I want to ask her to come and join me here, for example. So she's going to stay with me here, right? So she's doing exactly what I'm asking her to do. She's doing what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to focus on me, get cues from me. So when you do that for about 7 days, your dog says, oh, I'm going to get, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to focus on my handler or my owner, and I'm going to get cues from my owner. So hopefully that is going to help you with controlling your dog when it's growling. So, but again, remember, when your dog is growling, it's a sign, it's a communication that is telling you I'm feeling anxious, nervous about this situation. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to solve this problem. So you have to help your dog somehow solve that problem. Okay? Hopefully this was a good session for you guys. I really enjoyed it, and I love the questions that you were asking, and hopefully everything that I suggested you can put into action and get results right away. If you have any other questions, leave those questions in the comment area or in any of my videos. I read them all and I answer them as well. Hope you enjoyed this. If you like this video, if you like me going live, hit the like button, share this video, make sure to subscribe, and I have a new video coming tomorrow. I'm very excited as well. It's a part 2 of the series that I've started last week. Hopefully you're gonna like that. It's a great video as well. I'm gonna see you next time, and until next time, have fun with your dog.